Hello everyone, welcome. We are going to do the whip topping tutorial today. If you are joining and you do not see the live button, this video has ended and you are watching the replay. I'll let a few people hop on and then I'll show you guys what we're doing. Say hello when you hop on, let me know you're here. Make sure that you can hear me okay. I'm gonna put you up on my laptop too. Alexa, pause music. It is sleeting here, so I'm hoping that my connection is good. Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I see comments on my laptop, but not on my phone. So hello everyone. Hey. So you'll see me looking to the side. Okay, so we are going to be doing the whipped topping tutorial. Look how stinking adorable this is. Like how freaking cute. It is removable. And this was just, it doesn't look the prettiest. I'm not selling this, but it was just kind of to play around to figure out what would be the best way to attach it. And I've got the Tronco, the glass tumbler lids, and attached it with magnets. So I'm going to show you guys how we're doing that. So I'm doing another one on this one. So what I've done to begin with is I take my lid, and you can do it on these lids, but the magnets that I picked up aren't going to work the best for it. So I'm gonna get, well, and I broke one because you can't clink magnets together. Lesson learned. But I'm gonna get some different ones, and what I'm thinking is if I get the heavy magnets, then they will, because this is recessed, so it sits down in here. So when you put your lid on top, it hits the edge of your lid and doesn't actually sit down in there. So I haven't quite figured out the best way to do that. I'm thinking I'm going to try with the heavy magnets and putting them down in there and see if that's enough to keep it in place to use it, and then you can take it off. So I'll update you guys once I figure that out. But for the flat lids, which is what I did on the mason jars, hello everyone who is just joining. Hello, hello. For the flat lids, the mason jar, and then for these Tronco lids, all I did was take a little bit of fast set, put it on my lid, put my magnet down. Boom, there it is. This one, I iced over it, or hot chocolated over the magnets. So then, oh hey Nikki, when I put them together, boom, bam, check that baby out. You can't even tell, so you can use it. Well, watch the magnets, that's how I broke them. So you can use it regular, or you can put your topping on. Isn't it adorable? So this lid is actually not the Tronco lid. It's a mason jar lid, so it's a wide mouth mason jar, which I don't know where my mason jar is, or I'd show you. So freaking genius, right? I'm trying to adjust you guys so you can see me. So magnets work under epoxy, so you will not see it. Funnest trick of the day. These If you're just hopping on, I'm gonna attach some down in here and see if we can't get it to hold the way we want it to, so it sits on top. So I made this one to fit there. It has no sprinkles on it. These lids fit on, this one's a mason jar lid for an actual glass mason jar. This one is for the glass Tronco lids. These lids are Nikki's from the Steel Magnolia. They fit all the slim, so the plumps, 32 ounce, 24 ounce. I will say that some of these fit the skinny 20s because my daughter has taken a few. Yes, so Corinne, taking because this is a spackling, it's not washable. You get water on it, it's going to disintegrate. Unless you hand paint the epoxy over the top of it, and if you miss any areas of it, if you don't get a full good coat, it's going to get underneath there and it's going to disintegrate. I spray seal mine, so I've added all my little sprinkles to it, and then I just took some clear sealer and did probably, I'd say probably 6 or 7 good coats, good heavy thick coats over the top of it to help hold everything in place and protect it. I would not recommend washing this. I would not put it in a sink. I would just, when you go to wash it, just take it off. I think they're more for decoration than anything. They're adorable, but I wouldn't wash them. They're not the most user-friendly. Yes, Lacey, plumps, travel mugs, the juniors, all those, these lids fit all those different ones. And like I said, I can't see your comments up here, so I'm looking over here to try and catch them. I know, Nikki, I've even thought like, oh my gosh, I could make interchangeable, you name it, anything, because you can epoxy over magnets and they still work. These are medium size magnets. Now, if you get like the little lightweight magnets, they might probably not work. You can get medium or heavy magnets. The heavier you go with your size of magnets, the thicker it's going to be. So you can see it's lifted up just a little bit. But when you put it on, boom. And you can kind of see it's not, you can kind of see where the magnet sits, but that's my idea. So let's see. Make sure I didn't miss any of your comments. Yeah, if you put the plaster right on the lid, you're not going to be able to wash your lid, or you're going to lose your top. The magnets, I got them from Hobby Lobby, but you can get them from Amazon or any place. I got the rectangle ones. They do sell circle ones. They have some that are really thick, some that are thin. I wanted the thinner one just to give it a little bit more of a low profile so it doesn't sit up as much, because you got to think you're putting 2 of them together. And the other thing, when you are adhering them to your lid, it doesn't necessarily matter which side, but there is a negative and a positive side to magnets. So if you take and put them, let's see, together one way, they resist each other. So you have to make sure that whenever you are putting one magnet to the lid and one to the cup, always test it first to make sure you have the correct. Otherwise, if you put them the opposite, all it does is scoots it off to the side where it can connect. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it's forcing me off. And so if you have the opposite on there, your lid's gonna slide off to the side. Yeah, I'm gonna do the piping and everything. So I'll keep you guys up on my laptop. I can't see comments up on my phone anyway. But I'll try and catch any comments, and then this will be saved so we can go back if there's any questions that I missed. So what I'm using is Fast and Final lightweight spackling. There are several different brands that you can use, and I don't have very much experience with other brands. This is the one that my Walmart sells, and so this is what I've always grabbed. Yes, there is a magnet under this drip lid. There are two magnets, one here and one here. If you turn it just right, you can see it's a little bit raised up in this area and this area. There are two magnets in here coordinating with these two magnets. So when you put them down, your lid is stuck. Bam! Genius. Okay, so I'm gonna turn you guys down so that you can see what I'm doing. And give me just a minute to make sure we're in line and where we need to be. So Karen, the magnet is completely covered in epoxy. Now on these lids, if you put a magnet straight on top of it, yes, the magnet will get wet. You can take and coat it with resin so that it's completely covered. This will be, like I said, I haven't done these tops yet, so I'm gonna experiment with it and I'll let you guys know what I find works. But this lid here, I've just attached the magnet right on top, and I will epoxy over this because I'm gonna do a drip, just like on this one. And this is the lid that I'm making today. So what I've done, actually let me grab another one so I can show you guys how I scored this. Sorry, you all know I come prepared. Okay. So what I've done is, you want to make your base, and you can use cardboard, you can use this is just foam poster board is what I'm using. So all I've done is taken and laid my lid down on top of my foam board. And then I've taken my X-Acto knife and just run it right around the edge. And that's how I've done this. So then we can take and cut it out. And for anyone just hopping on, I'm using the Fast and Final lightweight spackle. And this does not have to be perfect. There's probably some easier ways to cut these out, but I don't have anything handy, so. And I do tend to make things more difficult for myself. So if anybody has any ideas, spill. Hello, Miss Michelle. Did everyone have a good Christmas? I didn't even ask you guys. Hello, hello, ladies. Yeah, I'm sure everybody can use any of my tutorials as learning from my mistakes. Not learning things, just learning what not to do. Okay, so cut that out. Now, one side's definitely prettier than the other, so I'm going to take and make it on top of the ugly side so that it covers it up, because you're gonna have your whip topping a little over the sides because you want to try and cover up the edge of this. Okay, now there are different types of spackle. You just want to make sure you get the lightweight so it's not heavy, and I do find these take about a week till they're, especially since they're so fluffy and big, to really get cured on the inside. The other thing that I'm going to use is foam balls, craft foam. So you can buy this at Walmart, Target, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, any of those places. These are 2.5 inch balls. You can, depending on what size you want, you can go bigger or smaller. I just measured it out before, and these work perfect. I think there is maybe a 1/2 inch that I use for my pop sockets. This eliminates a lot of extra spackling that you're using. So you want to take and adhere this, and I am going to use E6000 and just put a little bit on here to stick it to it. You can use a fast set or something else, but I don't have any mixed up. So if you know you're gonna do one of these, you could always just resin it, set it aside so you've got it. 2.5 inch, yes, that's what these are. And that is a good size for all the lids. So this one fits perfect. But I always measure my lid to make my cut. And then you want to make, oh darn it, see, look, mistake again. Forgot to cut my hole for the straw. Look at that, perfect little spot for it. So you want to make sure that you have a straw hole. Don't be like Misty. Make your straw hole before you put your glue on. And this stuff is actually pretty easy to cut through if you're not trying to cut it on top of a lid or around a bunch of glue that you just put on. Okay, so we're just going to make sure that our lid fits up just right with where our hole is, and then I take and kind of carve out so that it's wide enough. you'd rather have a little bit bigger hole for your straw than too small, because once you put your topping on and have your styrofoam ball in place, it's hard to get the lid cut out. And go do this before you glue. Don't do it after you glue, because it's just harder. Doable, but harder. And I'm just taking all this excess off of here. I just got so excited. I get so excited. And if you have a brand new X-Acto knife, it's a little bit easier as well. Okay, so now I've got my hole, and then I'm gonna put my lid back on, or my ball back on, and now I'm gonna take a straw and punch a hole through the styrofoam. So my hole is right here, and so I just start punching that styrofoam out with my straw. Again, do this before you glue. Yeah, you could probably use a hole punch or a craft punch of some sort. Okay, so now we have our hole for our straw. And again, I make it a little bit wider than what it actually needs to be. And the reason that I do that is because when you come in with your spackling, it can fold over and really start to cover that over. So if you have more room before, it's easier to fill that spackling and push that aside so that you can actually get your straw in. All right. I'm gonna take this off the side here too, just to give it a good big opening. Okay, so this is the base to our whipped topping. Yeah, you can go the other way. I like to do things the difficult route. So I'm gonna do it the difficult way, and then you guys see how much I struggle, and then you can do it the correct and easy way. See how that works? I'm here for you. Okay, now we're going to mix up our, and are you saying my holes are crazy, Lacey? I think they're perfect. Look at that, that's a perfect hole. Although like 15 minutes of this live has been me making a hole. Okay, so we've got our spackling, and it already has glitter in it. Lord knows why. And I'm just gonna take a big scoop of it and plop it down in my cup. And it's okay, if you're making a color, you probably want to pre-make your color. Like, you say you want to do a bunch of red ones, pre-make the color red, and then save a container so you can put it back in there if you don't use it all. It's better to have more than to run out. So you can see I'm putting just about this entire, I probably should have just done it in the container, but See, again, it would have been easier to mix in this because I used all of it. Nope. I'm gonna dirty up another cup just to show you all the hard way of doing things. Now I want this white, and I don't know if you can't really tell on film, but it almost has a grayish hue to it. I'm not saying you're judging, Lacey. I'm just spitting the truth over here. Yes, Michelle, CCDIY is coming out with a new product. That's not what we're using today. That, we're still working on it. I mean, like, they're not working on it. I'm still working on figuring out the best way to do something like this with it. But it's an amazing, amazing product. Which all of their stuff is, so I'm not surprised. Okay, so a few drops. I'm using Snow White dispersion color. As y'all know, dispersion colors are my jam. You can use acrylic paint as well. I will say, if you mix acrylic paint in with your spackling, like trying to get a red, well, yeah, I tried to get that was what I used, a red, and I mixed my colors, or my acrylic paint, with my spackling, and the amount of acrylic paint that I had to use to get the color that I wanted, my spackling, instead of it being fluffy, became really runny. And so once I put it, I was doing pop sockets with it. Oh, can't say that word. Foam grips. Don't you get the copyright police call on me. I was making foam grips, the little icing cupcake foam grips, and I put it on there, and it just kind of sagged on the sides, and it just looked sad, and none of my lines from the piping showed up. So you just have to maybe test it out before you mix up a bunch of it with the acrylic paint, with the dispersion colors. They're so they're so pigmented that you don't have to use hardly any at all. So I found that they work really good and can give you a true color a little bit with a little bit less product, and you're still keeping the fluffiness and consistency of the spackling, so you're not losing anything. You thought we could say now? Oh, I don't know. The pop socket thing? Oh, here I go again. It's just like a bad word. I mean, I truly think that you can, but I still feel so dirty saying it. So all I'm doing is just mixing, and mixing. And that is pretty much all mixed together. Yeah, it's a dirty word, Karen. Okay, and then this fun little tool, guys, is just a cake decorating spatula I found off of Amazon, but it works great because it fits down into your piping bag, which I use disposable piping bags. That's a Ziploc bag. And this is the tip that I'm using. It is a Wilton 1M pointed tip. Found off maybe Walmart, but I know like Hobby Lobby carries them. Michael's, I think, carries them. Amazon carries them. So my disposable bags, I just cut the tip to fit, And then 9 times out of 10, I don't cut it down far enough. So I have to go back and cut it again. So I just push it down in there to see how much more I need. This is spackling, Cheryl. The new product from CC DIY is not released yet. Maybe a couple weeks. Okay, so I pushed my tip down in there, and I'm gonna get me a cup. Spackling. And I'm just gonna open up my baggie. Now, I think this is genius. This is a good tip for the day. Put your baggie in a cup. If you guys have ever watched any of my lives before, when I do like my drips, I always tell you guys I wanted to be a baker. And I really did want to be a baker. I'm not that good at it, but I just liked baking. I like sweet things, so I think that's part of the reason that I wanted to be a baker. So I tried really, really hard in my younger years to bake things. And as you can see, I'm not a baker, so apparently I wasn't that good. If my daughter was in here, she'd tell you how delicious my food is that I make. And I go ahead and fill my baggie with everything that I've mixed up, because I don't want to run out in the middle of mixing, or in the middle of piping. It's always better to have more than not enough. This little booger's getting crazy on me. And at the end, if you have some left in your bag, you can always pipe it back into your tub or make another small object with it. I love baking. I mean, now I don't have time, but it was a lot of fun. I made a cake for my daughter's 8th grade graduation and did stripes and polka dots and all kinds of things, and I thought I could be a fantastic baker one day, but no. Dreams don't always come true, ladies. Do you all find it crazy that so many of us wanted to be bakers? It's like that artistic vibe in us to decorate small things. Okay, so I'm just pushing it down, just like they do in the baking shows, until it starts coming out. I start up at the top just to try and make sure there's no air bubbles or air pockets in there. And then off to decorating. And you just want it to fold off on the side there, just to cover that up. You can do different tips for different designs. And again, I didn't become a famous baker, so I don't know the best way to pipe or the best way to decorate. And then you see all those people on TikTok. They can do this so fast. Now, I'm not too worried about my hole. I know where it is. Oh man, my hand was right in the way, you all. Dang. Okay, so here it is. I should have zoomed you in too. It is a styrofoam ball cut in half and glued to my piece of foam board. So now I can see where, now I'm not gonna touch the bottom of this because I don't want it to lose any of its fluff. I'm gonna let it dry on my mat. But I can see where my hole is for my straw. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this straw, and you can use any straw, and I'm just gonna kind of gently push that spackling out of the way. And just, I circle it down in there just to push that back out of the way and create an opening. I don't have any paper towels, of course. And you just want to be careful not to get any of your ruffles or fluffs, whatever they are. Okay, so I've created my opening. And then you can go ahead now and add your sprinkles to it because it is a little sticky. And I'm gonna do a Valentine's theme with this one. So they put it on the underside of a lid, upside down lid. So Jackie, this is on a piece of foam board. So it'll come off of the lid. I usually have tweezers around, but again, can't find them. So I'm just going to sprinkle my little conversation hearts on here. They put the whole thing on the cup. So it was attached to the lid, right? Is that what you're saying? Because I think if you do that, you can't wash your lid. I haven't done it. I am by no means an expert in whipped toppings or whipped topping cups. I just like to play. Now, if, here they are. Okay, so I just kind of sprinkle my little conversation hearts. Oh, just to make, for the making part. I gotcha. And I will take and actually push these in just a little bit into the spackling so it helps them hold. You guys, are these not the cutest little hearts ever? And then I will let this sit and dry for probably, I would say, at least 2 days before I do anything else with it. I think it's probably, you know, 24 hours or so. It's good and dry to the touch. But if it's not completely dry on the inside areas, it will smush. So you just want to be careful with it. Could you spray paint in the spackle? You could always try it. I don't know how that would, I've never tried it, so I'm not for sure if that would affect it at all. Adorable. That's it. You can put as many sprinkles as you want. And then I will take and clear coat over them. Again, these are mostly, they're for decoration more than anything, and looks versus function. So you can brush epoxy over them to seal everything in. I personally I don't sell these, so I'm not going to that extent. These I made for the kiddos, for the grandkiddos. Spray paint after it's dry. Yeah, you could do that. You could totally spray paint it after it's dry. I spray seal it after it's dry. Ta-da! That's it. Now, once that is dry, then I will show you guys. So I will take, because I'm putting it on this lid, I will take and attach my magnet just like so. And then once that magnet is cured, I will take and cover over the magnet with, this is just artist resin, and nice and thick, and dispersion colors. So I made the drips come off the edge just like so. Let that completely cure. Then, because you want to make sure that your magnets are lined up. So what I did was I took this and lined it with, or coated it, brushed it with liquid latex, let that dry, and then I took my magnets that I'm wanting to put on my cup, which I've lost all my magnets. So I took those, set the magnets directly on top of where I did my liquid latex, just like so. I took a little bit of fast set, painted it just on top of that magnet, and then I took and set my dried, finished whipped topping on that and let it cure. So the finished product has 2 magnets or 1. is, which is going to be in this case, on the bottom of your whip topping and 1 or 2 magnets underneath your icing or hot cocoa or whatever it is. So then when you put them together to use, it snaps right on your straw, fits right down in the center, and you're ready to drink. If you don't want the whip topping, boom, you still have your lid. What do you all think? Do you love it? That's super cute. Oh yes, do a Valentine's. Show the icing again. This one with the magnets on the bottom of it. Do not judge my fancy cardboard. I do not epoxy over my whips. Only because I don't sell them. I don't sell them. I won't ever sell them. I make them for the kids. But now if you are selling them, I would say yes. I would do something over the top of it, just because even though you tell customers not to do something, the likelihood of them actually thinking about it, especially if they don't do a whole lot with resin or cup making, they're probably not going to think about it and would just wash it off. I'll move you guys up here real quick. And then you would lose all of your, you would lose your entire whip because you can't get it wet unless it's completely covered and sealed. Let's see. What is on top of the hot chocolate lid magnet? This is artist resin with nice and thick. And I just covered over the 2 magnets. So it's just completely sealed, so you can't even tell that it has magnets in it. It just looks like either a donut or a hot chocolate. Yeah, you could probably use quick coat, I would think. I haven't done it. Use, what circles? The circle sprinkles? Is that what you were asking, Carol? The circle sprinkles are from CCDIY. They're the Merry Mistletoe sprinkles. They all come in a pack. I'm trying to go back through questions here real quick. This lid right here is a wide mouth mason jar lid. And then this one here, the one that I made the topping for, is the Tronco lids. Yeah, isn't it cute? Like, you could just use this as an everyday, and then, ooh, Christmas comes around, I'm gonna put my topper on. Looks like, yes, it does. It could totally be a donut. Now, I didn't put any sprinkles on it just because it was for a hot chocolate, but you could put sprinkles on it and seal it with another layer of resin and then still do your topping over that. Practice, yes, practice your piping. I started out small, so I did, and by no means are mine perfect. They are not. There are some ladies that like kill these, but just I started out with the foam grips first, just to kind of get it down and figure out, and different tips, play with different tips to do it. The spackling is pretty inexpensive. So, and I think I paid like $3 or something for this little jar, but you can buy big jars of it and just play with it. So that's it. That is how we made our whip topping. Whoop. The foam for the foam grips was, I believe, a 1/2 inch. I don't have any handy, but I believe it's a 1/2 inch because the foam grip itself is 1.5 inches. So you just want it small enough that you have a lip around the edge of it so that you can start your piping out, let it kind of fall over a little bit, and then build your way up. Yes, you can. If you don't like it, scrape it right back off, put it back in your bag and redo it. And keep doing that until you figure out how you like it. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for everything. Thanks for being a part of this group and all the love and support. So I'll go back through, and if I missed any comments or anything, I'll try and go back and answer them. Jackie, I got medium-sized magnets. They're, let me see if I can only find my broken one, but they're pretty thin. They come in circles, rectangles, squares. They are medium size, so they're a little bit more, I don't even know how to say that, but they're a little bit more magnetized. So they hold better. The lightweight magnets don't hold up against the spackling, even though it is pretty lightweight. It just doesn't give you the best hold. So you want to get either a medium or a heavy magnet. Yes, lightweight spackling. Light and fluffy. It doesn't say that. It just says lightweight, but it is fluffy. You can also take and use like a milk frother and to fluff it up, beat it. So, all right, I'm gonna hop off here so you guys can go about your day and I can go back doing adult stuff that I should be doing. So, all right, thank you all very much. Have a good evening.